witches. Grab your goat, grab something to drink, grab your clicker and put it down because it is time for the Witches Movie Coven. Yes, it is Wednesday. We are witches. Witches talking about witches in movies. Join the chat room. Join the conversation. I have to open the chat room. I'll do that afterwards. Oops. My name is Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. Today's movie is Spellbinder from 1988, where the hair. We have to do a lot of this. I'm sorry. We're going to have to do a lot of this. I'm Patti Negri, one of your guests. You might know me from The Witching Hour or Ghost Adventures, YouTube or Bathroom Walls Across America, or my goat or my cat ready to bite me any second. But let me pass you on to introduce themselves to my beautiful co-hosts, starting with Richard-Lael Lillard.
I am Richard-Lael. If I were just Richard, I'd be a... That's right. I'm a psychic medium. I used to be psychic small, but I gained some weight. I can't help it. It makes me laugh. Anyway, yeah, I'm here in New Orleans. Also, if you would like to sleep with me, go right over here to wherever it is, this QR code. This is joining the coven right over here. You can sleep with me. You used to get into Patty's panties, but you can't do that for a while yet, but you can become a bro witch. You can be Heather's I Didn't Mind It. You can get quotes from Courtney. You can get our books. You can get our art. You can do those things right over there. Also, hit the like, subscribe, the comments. We really love you. We need them. You help us to give great shows. So keep it up. We see you. We love you. Thanks so much.
And thank you very, very much. Let's move on to the gold. We have matching kind of golden locks today, but let's go down to Jason Mankey.
Heather's hair is perfect today. Like, I'm jealous. It's great.
Perfect.
It's perfect for the movie.
Yeah. I'm Jason Mankey. You can find me at Bookshelves Across America. 10 books and counting as a published author. So excited to be here tonight because this movie has really given me wings.
I need my husband and a snare drum. Okay, moving on. Thank you, Heather. Beautiful Heather with the equally beautiful golden locks.
Yeah, I worked really hard on my 80s. My hair loves to be 1980s style, so I figured I'd let it do its thing today. I am Heather Greene. I'm the author of Lights, Camera, Witchcraft. It is the critical history of witches in American cinema and television. And I am an author, yes, and an editor at Llewellyn Worldwide. I like to say I'm not just an author, I'm actually an editor as well. And I am also a journalist in the mainstream media covering all things occult and witchy. So, and here I am to talk about a movie from the 1980s. Very much looking forward to it.
Me too. Yes, Llewellyn. I have one Llewellyn book. One. I love it.
And
all right. And we have, you may not see her, we may not see her, but she is going to be appearing when the gods allow, the one and only Courtney Buckley.
Oh, we summoned her.
Timing is
like magic.
And you will not see her, but she is part of the team and in the family. The one and only Tabitha, you will see helping us in the chat room. So everybody here is important. Grab your goat. Spellbinder. I just saw it for the first time last night. Hope you guys all watched it. But just in case, look at that. You've got it right there.
There's a reason that Heather has that right there because she did commentary.
I did. And I can just show this before we talk about it. I'll show this off again. So I just took the box top off. I did this last week, but we can do it again real quick. I think I put the box on. Hold on. We got to match it up so she has a forehead. There you go. So this is a newly released box set for this movie. And in reading the book, I learned a little bit more about why it got a box set. And I'll share that in a second. But in the box set, you not only get the movie right here, with several special features, one of which is an interview with me talking about witchploitation and horror and witchcraft films specifically during this period and the 70s. You also get a copy of the shooting script. And when I opened it up, I was pretty because it also has It also has pictures and all kinds of maps and all the stuff they use to create the movie. And it also comes with a little book explaining the movie, and I got to read it, and that kind of clued me in on why they gave this box set. So I will share that in a little bit.
I can't wait. Thank you for that. I'm excited because I kind of died mid last week, so I was not here. But just for everybody who hasn't seen it yet or got the box set, Richard-Lael, do you have an unbiased synopsis of this lovely film?
I do have an unbiased synopsis. And like you, I watched this film for the first time and the last time yesterday. It's a classic. So here's the story of a lovely lady who was busy with 3 girls of her own. Anyway, that's another story for another day. So these 2 1980s douche bros are coming out of the gym, and they see a girl who is in distress, the damsel in distress. Apparently, it is a lover's quarrel, and the aggressor has told this girl after he slapped her, and he's told her that she needed to come with him. And of course, being the douche bros that they are, I mean, that was kind of noble. But they stood up to the guy, and they forced him off. And meanwhile, now this girl doesn't have a place to go, so obviously she goes with the Steven Weber, the Wings fella, and she drives the little MG. They go back to his place because obviously, and she heals him because she's a witch. Heals him from some kind of neck pain. I don't know, but she heals him, and then they start seeing each other, and before too long, she has moved right in. She's the girlfriend. And then you find out that she is in a satanic coven of witches, and she is being stalked by literal satanic witches in a coven in Los Angeles. And one thing leads to another. The police get involved, and he is instructed, Steven Weber, Wings fellow, this guy, he's instructed to go down to Hollywood to the Toys and Costumes, which is a bookstore, and get a book on witchcraft. And they clearly have everything. So he reads that with this certain symbol, this witch has to be sacrificed, but the victim has to be a willing victim. Meanwhile, they go back to the Hollywood Hills. He's got this big case that he's going to try. There's a lot of things back and forth. As it turns out, she breaks up with him so that she can run away. He finds her. He takes her to a bunker. There's a bunker in the Hollywood Hills underneath the Hollywood sign. Who would have known? Goes to court. Mother shows up. I mean, Mrs. Roper shows up, by the by. Mrs. Roper shows up, and she's Mama Witch. So she apparently 3 was not company because she decided 4 was the devil. So she is the satanic mama of this girl. And meanwhile, no one can get through this, just like Titanic. Meanwhile, the girl gets kidnapped. All of the witches sort of force their way in, kidnapped, taken way out to one of the beaches. I don't remember. Life's a beach, some beach. Son of a beach. He gets taken out there, and then of course she is about to be sacrificed, in quotations, and then of course, because the victim has to go willingly to the circle, Steven Weber gets his wings nicked, and he ends up by being unalived by this girl, her coven, and his douche bro best friend. And then, of course, you find out that they have been doing this for, I don't know, days, weeks, months, years, whatever it may be. They've been doing it over and over and over, the ultimate betrayal. And then, of course, you find at the end that life is reset. Douche bro, who worked in the law firm, is now friends with another person. There's another domestic fight. And, of course, the witch who would not renounce her faith in Satan is the girl in trouble. And that's the end of the credits. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Now that we know the plot line of the film in detail, maybe there's a little more. Heather, do you have 5 more things perhaps that we can know about this film?
Sure. Let me give you some background, and let me get this as interfering. So I'm going to start with the basics. Again, as always, 1988 film. It was released. Director is Janet Greek. Yes, this is a woman director, which is not common during this period of time. It's not common any period of time, honestly. Written originally by a woman named Tracy Torme, but then Janet took it over and revamped the script almost entirely, and we have what we have today. The original title, the working title, was The Witching Hour. I thought Patti would love that. But the marketing people changed it last minute to Spellbinder, supposedly because they were a little fearful because of the time it was in, and they weren't sure it would do as well with a term witch in the title. But of course, it didn't do well anyway. The La Trampa de la Rana. That's even a better title. Budget was about $55,500,000, but it only made in its first run a little over $650,000. Yes, that's how much of a big gap it was. However, it's since made over 5 million adjusted for inflation. So it's got legs, which is one of the reasons it's now become a box set just recently. So let's talk about the director, Janet Greek. The script came to her husband producer. He gave it to her. She had only done one other film called The Ladies Club, and she had also done I think she did a couple of music videos, TV episodes, etc. But she had only done one movie. He gave this to her. So this was her pet project. And as I said, she already had rewritten the script, which apparently was a mess according to the story. And she said she wrote every single piece of dialogue was hers. What's interesting is when you read about her opinion of the production, she talks a lot about how the boys club tear up films that are made by women. And so her first film was torn up, destroyed. They added nudity when she didn't want nudity, et cetera, et cetera. They did the same thing to this one. The original film she cut was different. And what she explains is that her film was character driven. It was supposed to be about this man who was empty inside, lost, alone, because you hear at the very beginning of the film, he talks about how his parents had died, he has no siblings, et cetera, et cetera. So he's supposed to be this sort of empty person who's lost and lonely and gets hooked into this love. What it turns into is a plot driven. They changed it, they cut it, they diced it up, moved things around, and had her put things in she didn't want, that she filmed and didn't want, etc. And you wind up with the film today. And the whole part of the story about this being a way to save him, a part about himself, you lose that part of the character that she was trying to build. So she was upset about that. And again, this was, I think, this is the second film she did, and I'm not sure she did any much more after that in terms of full-length features. But you can read all about it and hear an interview with her about this in the box set. She's also interviewed in the special pieces. So you can hear more about her struggle and her difficulty and, what it was like being a woman director in the 80s, especially in horror. So that's why I got a box set, because it's kind of an unusual piece and all these various things. Let's talk about the cast. They've already been mentioned a couple times. Of course, Tim Daly. He plays Jeff, not Steven, but he is from Wings. That's what he's most known as. He was also on a number of other things, Private Practice, Sopranos. He's the voice of Superman in the animated series. I thought Jason might like that. Yeah. And this was his fourth film. His first film I thought was interesting was Diner. I didn't realize that. But this was his fourth film. This was really before he was more well-known. Kelly Preston, of course. She was Miranda. She's known for a lot of things. She was in a ton of stuff. Jerry Maguire is one that she's known to. She was married to John Travolta. They had 3 children. She was in Christine, which I have to go back and look at. I love this movie. And she was also in Love at Stake, one that we reviewed here. She was Sarah Lee in that show, in that movie. This was her 11th film by this point. Unfortunately, sadly, she died of cancer in 2020. So, what is remembered lives. We have her in this film. Rick Rossovich, you might know him from Top Gun, Terminator. He's a face that's very recognizable. He played Derek, the bro. What did you call him? The bro?
Douche bro.
Douche bro. He was the douche bro. He also was in a lot of TV shows, ER, Pacific Blue. And then in the 70s, I didn't realize that he had been on Fantasy Island and Eight is Enough, if you remember that show. And of course, BJ and the Bear. I love to say BJ and the Bear, so I always got to bring it up. There is a witch episode of that. One day we're going to look at it. And then, of course, Audra Lindley. She is best known for who?
Mrs. Roper.
So, and the funny part about Mrs. Roper, and this is just an aside, is every year at Dragon Con, there's a Mrs. Roper thing that goes on. Tons of people dress up as Mrs. Roper and they all take their picture together. I'm talking about hundreds. You got to go look up the Mrs. Ropers at Dragon Con pictures. All these people, men, women, all genders, dressed up as Mrs. Roper. Really, really very cool. So those are the ones I really wanted to bring up. There is a few other familiar faces here. I think Carrie, you might recognize the police chief. He was, or no, he wasn't. He was a detective. He was in a ton of movies. Usually a bad guy, but he was in a ton of movies. As is, I think it's the guy. I think it's Michael Gainey. He's the guy that played the prepper dude. He was also in a ton of stuff as well. Recognizable.
Brock.
So let's go to 4 and 5 real quick. This was filmed in Los Angeles. One of Janet's ideas for this film was to create this scenario, this setting of LA, this perfect city everybody loves, make it very familiar, especially to people who live there. I'm sure Patti probably recognized. I know our producers recognize places all over the place.
Recognized it.
You did too, Richard-Lael. So she was meant to do that because she wanted to create this environment that looked familiar and comfortable and safe, but wasn't. And that is very, very typical of 1970s witch films. Think about Rosemary's Baby. That's what Rosemary's Baby was all about, was setting this perfect setting, this normal setting, creating this normalcy with a satanic coven that's just lurking underneath the surface. So that's what she was trying to do here with the situation, with the familiarity of Los Angeles that you might see. This sunny place is not as safe, even in the sunshine. So that's sort of the eeriness of it that she's trying to get at. Some of, again, was chopped up. Some of it was lost. We don't know what the original film looked like. So I thought that was interesting. And I don't know if Patti and Richard-Lael and you guys want to talk about various places later that were familiar, but I would not have recognized any of them clearly. The last thing I want to talk about is Satanic Panic. It was released in 1988. This is the very beginning of when Hollywood started to pick up on the Satanic Panic and started to really show it. And one of the things in the book said that this movie isn't really, doesn't hit the Satanic Panic theme hard. I disagree entirely with that statement. Lots of great stuff in the book, but that I disagree with entirely. They stated that it really didn't demonstrate a satanic coven. I'm like, yes. I'll have to disagree. I have to disagree with that. From my studies and from just watching the film tonight, again, just going through it, all the pieces are there. It's very much a satanic panic film. The story that she gives about how she was born into this family and they were trying to convert her, that's very Michelle Remembers, which is one of the things that launched the Satanic Panic. Very much a part of that. You have all of the fake symbols, you have them talk about Satan, and but what makes this different was kind of interesting. So most of the movies that were done at this point were usually the Satanists or the evil were women. If there was a coven at all, it was one or two women. Think about Hocus Pocus. In all the movies, it's usually about a woman, couple women, 3 women, or maybe even a little bigger coven, all women that are destroying either a family or a man. That's usually what you see in the 80s. And usually the women are very, very sexy. So here you have that part of it. You have that erotic thriller part of it that are very normal for a lot of these films, like Black Magic Woman or Black Magic, Love at Stake as a comedy version of that. You have that all here. That's very much part of the 80s satanic panic witch movies. But what you have here that's not common is the coven. And that's not the coven with men and women at the beach. That whole part of it is very 70s. So she really pulled in something from the 70s, something that was a legacy. And then she added it to what was going on in the 80s, this kind of backlash against women and women's empowerment, which is what it allegorically really is. But you had both going on here, which is really, really interesting. And, you know, you get a combo. That's fine. That's what makes this movie different. That's all I have. Oh, and by the way, if you want to look at Black Magic Woman, it has Mark Hamill in it. Big surprise. He was in a witch movie. What was that?
We have to do that movie then.
Okay. I will put on
Mark
the list.
Hamill.
Black Magic Woman. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we'll have to.
Yep. And then we'll have to clear the rights with Santana because I'm going to be singing that in the whole show.
Well, you know, it'll be a good show. That's all I have for you guys. That's enough for now.
Thank you. Thank you.
So-
That's great. And I love that you're in the box set. That is good.
That's
It makes me
awesome.
want to get a box set, though I have nowhere to play it.
I know. You got to have a DVD player.
Yeah. I might be one.
PS5, baby.
Mhm. Mhm.
Gotta have your
Okay.
PlayStation.
Hold on. I'll just talk for a second while I can still talk. Spring has sprung. I couldn't figure out if the problem was bad acting, bad directing, or bad dialogue in the beginning, especially for me with the male interactions. It was so unconnected. They're playing the game and they're coming out. It's like that was the most troubled dialogue. And I honestly could not decide if it was the directing, the acting, or the dialogue. If anybody can jump in there, it's like go.
Actually, you're talking specifically about the beginning, and that was the part that was completely trashed. They cut it up, they shortened it. There was this bigger, long part that really got you into the story with the character. That's where they cut. And they said in the book, if the beginning feels very weird and choppy and disjointed, it's because the MGM took that whole first part, just destroyed exactly what she was doing and kind of just condensed it and chopped it up. So that may be what you're reacting to.
Yeah. Because at first I just went, oh, bad acting. Oh, then I went, oh, TV acting. But these aren't all TV people, and that isn't that difference anymore. But that set me off very bad in the beginning. I guess it worked into it later, but so that makes sense that that's just bad editing in addition to bad acting, bad directing, bad dialogue. Yeah. Courtney, you're very quiet today.
Well, today is the day of what can go wrong will. So I do have a confession to make. I didn't finish the movie. This was also my first time watching it. I know, but I did take notes. And so I would love to share with you my real-time thoughts as I watched the part of the movie that I did watch, if that's all right. And then later I came up with questions that maybe you guys can help me answer because I didn't get to see the ending. So maybe someone can fill me in. So the first thing was that the porn music that was playing was a lot. Because it wasn't even, and this is the part that got me. It was like when they were talking, it was blasting my eardrums like I was at a concert, and just like this ridiculous, like whatever, I don't even know what type of music it was, but like this horrible music. And then, but they're not even doing anything. They're just like talking to each other. And then they go slamming into the bedroom and their mouths are attached to each other. There's a lot of heavy breathing, but there's silence. So all I have to hear for like 5 straight minutes is the heavy breathing and the moaning of whatever else is happening. Then as I was writing this down, it was still going on. And then I was like, I hear a belt buckle. Oh, okay. I still hear heavy breathing. And then I wrote, why have I had to listen to heavy breathing for this long? Because it was still happening. And then I looked up and I said, oh, boobs and butts. Nice.
But not enough boobs and butts.
Not for the amount of of like that there was like I
all
can't.
the build up. I was singing the song and I sang like one line and then it was done. Yeah.
Yeah, as usual, there's never enough boobs and butts. But then I asked, this is not a question that I need answered because this was more rhetorical, but do they not need to breathe? Like with all the heavy breathing, they're doing a lot of like not coming up for air. So is that not something, you know, that they need to do? And then it flashed to it was like all the sex magic, great, good for them. But then it flashed to who I will refer to as the witch mafia boss, I think is who it was, because his hair was the magic of the movie in that one shot. It was not there because that's a different hairstyle. And I was
curly.
Yeah, I was confused if it was the same guy, but his hair was like Jason, I don't want to be offensive, but it was like more voluptuous than yours. And it shocked me.
It was the 80s. It was the 80s.
Right. But even for 80s
hair.
Yeah, even for 80s hair, though, it was just glorious. So that was in all capital letters. And then I immediately questioned, is this the witch mafia? And so I wrote that down. And then I have one of my quotes, which I will include, because then with his slicked back hair, he said, "No one ever leaves us." And then the other man's face immediately lit on fire. And my question was answered. This is, in fact, the witch mafia. And I became very excited about that. So I'm now rooting for the witch mafia. I don't care what's happening in the rest of the two people that can't like detach themselves from each other. I feel nothing for. I feel everything for the witch mafia, and I'm on their side. I wrote down, this is obviously very offensive to me. They don't ever stop sucking face, even when they're in front of people. Like they were standing 2 feet away from a woman having a conversation and then turned to each other and like made out in her face. And it's just like, get some decorum, people. Okay, I understand we're all very excited and there's some magic happening, but not enough boobs and butts pay out for this much making out. Then I have another quote, which I'll come back to later. Then came the answering machine demons. So he had like messages on his answering machine. Yeah. And it was like, "We're coming for you, Mr. Smith. You should have listened to us, Mr. Smith." And it was like very like succinct and to the point, like, get him, good. Like mafia, we don't have time to mess around, the witch mafia. We just send all of our army towards this man to like gaslight him into believing that whatever, he's in trouble, and then send in the answering machine demon. So, you know, we're coming for you, Mr. Smith. And then it's like rah, 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 rah. Very exciting. Then I wrote, ooh, the occult shop, because we can't not have an occult type shop in a movie like this, obviously. And then the best part is the answering machine demons became occult shop demons, because he was meandering through the bookshelves looking for, you know, the book that's gonna like, oh, like, and give him all the answers, and then they're like following around and whispering at him. So I became very excited about that, and that's as far as I got. So I do have some questions, if you guys can help me answer. Do they ever stop sucking face? Is there any point in time where they hate each other? Okay.
Yes.
Because it just was a lot. Like just like, I don't know, have a conversation, get to know each other a little bit, maybe, instead of mapping your face with your lips, is what I would think.
Just at the beginning.
Okay. So does the witch mafia win?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I will be finishing this movie after we get off of here. How many hairstyles does the boss of the witch mafia have throughout the movie?
Just the 2.
Okay. Does the big hair come back?
No.
Is the big hair where he holds his magic?
Probably.
It's only in that one scene briefly.
I mean, how does it not make it's its own character? How does it not make more of an appearance? I don't know. But anyway, those are my questions. I will be completing this movie. And I will, you know, it is an 80s movie. I almost didn't, you know, participate today because of that, but I tried to channel my inner sex goddess, demon, whatever. So, put on a costume. I don't know. I tried today. It's been a long day. It's been a very
beautiful.
Thanks.
Beautiful. Yes, your hair looks beautiful. You look beautiful.
I think you channeled it well. You know, I think
Well,
you really.
You know what? I never do the theme because I know I don't have things to do the theme, but apparently I don't know. I had this. So there we go.
Beautiful. And I have that demonic answering machine. I just want you guys to know.
You still have an answering machine?
I do. I have
Wow.
I still have 2 landlines,
Whoa.
3 or 4 cell phones, and none of them work. But I do. It does get demonic, oi, 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 demonic quite often, and does make those noises. So I understand. And you cannot kill it. You cannot kill it. That's it.
I
Jason,
actually want to talk a little bit. Oh, sorry, Jason.
No,
Richard-Lael.
if you're ready, Richard-Lael, just jump in.
Well, there was something I did actually want to discuss. And it bothered me. This one bothered me because she has run away. He's read the book that says that he has to go to the circle. And then she comes back the night before the circle happens. And then she's kidnapped. And then he goes to the circle. But in that interim at the gas station, he has read all about her. He's seen that she worships Satan. And he knows that she has allegiance because she has that odd-shaped necklace. So he rips it off of her, demands to know what it is, throws it to the ground, and she goes to get it back. As someone who was a former Christian, when I took that symbol off of my neck, I didn't want to go back and get it. So how could Wings fellow how could he not know? Like, was this 80s douche nozzle completely self-absorbed and stupid? I mean, he's an attorney. Like, you know?
I have to. There's a moment in the film where she says, and Courtney, spoiler alerts are coming because we're talking about the movie. And she says, like, the victim has to come willingly. And at that moment, I knew exactly how the film was going to end. It was very clear that this was a Wicker Man sort of ripoff. That the only difference was there was no bees, sadly. What about the bees? And that really disappointed me because I felt like the end was just so telegraphed. Like, but you knew 30 minutes before the movie was over exactly how it was going to end.
But you didn't necessarily know who was the leader of the coven, and you also didn't know. I'm trying to be a little bit.
No. Spoil it. Is the witch mafia boss not the leader of the coven of the witch mafia?
No.
His attorney friend is.
The douche bro in the BMW.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
That guy.
The guy is in the 80s, and he drives a BMW. So he's clearly the bad guy. Have you, in any 80s movie, have you ever seen someone who was the good guy drive a silver BMW?
That's a good. Good point.
Like, how though with that hair is he not the boss?
He has that hair for one instant, like the one never comes back.
Volume. Doesn't matter. It made an impression.
Number 2.
Well, so what Jason was saying, you were saying about knowing the ending. And I think that, totally knew what the ending was. I completely, with that, I didn't expect the douche bro, and I love it at the end where the 2 cops are coming running down, and then you see them in the back of the circle. Then they're taking their stuff off and putting on the robes. I'm like, subtle but perfect. That
didn't surprise me at all because I felt like one of the cops at the precinct was definitely a part of the cult when he hands the picture, like, we're looking for this girl. There was just something in the way that he acted that said they had also infiltrated this group. Though you're right, I was surprised that the douche bro was the leader, but also I didn't care because it didn't really change the film at all. I did think the kind of end was kind of funny where he brings another guy out that's going to be the next Patsy that they're going to kill. You know, that I thought was almost clever, but it was just way, way, way too obvious for anybody who watches horror and has seen The Wicker Man. You know, the only difference between this and The Wicker Man, there was no singing. Really, that is about the only difference. And one was burned to death, and one had their heart ripped out in a scene that was sort of ripped off from not Raiders of the Lost Ark, but Temple of Doom with Indiana Jones.
Well, I think that at this point in time, it may not have been as obvious. It's hard to always say because we've seen so many films since then. We get jaded and know, but I was mildly surprised by the ending when I saw it. But what I liked about it, which again is very different from 80s films, usually in these 80s films, the good guys wins. The cult mafia witches do not win in the 80s films. They're it's always fixed. It's always back to the goodness. This is the Satanic Panic era. They can't win. In the 70s, the mafia witches win. And there's a whole host of them where they do win. Even if they're reduced or they go underground or whatever. I mean, Rosemary's Baby, they win. The mafia wins in that movie, right?
Running with the devil.
Yeah, exactly. There's a host of them. But in the 80s, they do not win. So it's kind of a unique situation. I was surprised that it went that far because of the type of film it is, because it's from the era it was in. They're all the 80s films have sexy witches, though. That is very much a thing. I enjoyed this film for what it was. Definitely disjointed, definitely has some weird exchanges between people, and I'm not talking about all of the kissy. I'm talking about like some of the dialogue was a little disjointed and strange. Sometimes I felt she was forceful with the way she spoke to him, and it didn't work. But I thought it was fun. I thought the ending was fun for what it was, a light 1980s witch film welcoming in the Satanic Panic. Hello. So, and I it was fun watching it again. It's just kind of one of those, I don't know.
You know what movie it kind of reminded me of? You know what movie it reminded me of in a lot of ways was Highlander. Mm-hmm. Just because it wasn't a horror movie in the fact that it had jump scares or really much of a menace throughout until the very end when, somebody gets their heart ripped out. I didn't find it, very scary at all. Spoiler alert, Courtney. We talk about the movies and how they end on the show. I know it's terrible.
I'm leaving.
Mad. You're just let me add reasons to the list of why this is what I'm doing the second I get out. Like, I was literally watching it up until I had computer trouble. I had to restart my computer. It's not charging. I may disappear at any second because wiggle my nose and I'm gone. But I was into it. It gave me the vibes, experience wise, not movie wise, but experience wise. What was that one that we watched? Again, I think it was 80s. I was so mad about it. And then it was like when they turned into like the wisp of smoke, or like he was attached to the rope and he was like floating through the air. And then they had like the tornado in the cemetery or whatever. And I was beside myself the whole time.
That was I Married a Witch from the 1940s.
No. No, not that one. I'm confused.
The one with the guy with the blonde hair.
Yes.
And there was the barn with the star.
The barn.
Yeah.
Warlock. Yeah. So I went into this feeling very much the way that I did when I went into watching Warlock, and it was like not exciting. I was barely paying attention, and then I was like, unfortunately, having to listen to all of the things, and I was hate writing notes because I was like, I'm going to complain about this movie the whole time. And as soon as I saw who I will not be convinced otherwise was the boss of the witch mafia, I was involved with a capital I. I needed to continue watching it. I'm so excited that they win. And you're telling me that someone's heart gets ripped out?
Yes.
Like, I'm not living for that.
Yeah, okay. Indiana Jones style.
Literally, like, sign me up. I'm not going to show it to you right now. I have a themed wand this week, and you are, and you're maybe not going to be surprised which way it's directed today, because it was great and I was excited. So
I like the ending too. I like the ending. Of course, everyone in Los Angeles is a Satanist. All the police.
Well, I mean, of course they are.
And the thing, like the Bel Air house, all of a sudden you're in like the fanciest area of LA. Not even Beverly Hills. We're going Bel Air. We're going the Bel Air house, and that the couple. And I was like, oh God, this is funny. This is I really did get into that whole thing, and the daughter, and So that was fun. And all the coven members. And there were a lot more men, the men coven members than I thought, in all ages, and the older ones and the conservative ones. So I once I got past the bad acting, writing, directing, editing, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
There were two things that I was really surprised by. There's the point where she says there are some good witches, and she pretends that she and her mother were originally good witches, right? Like she talks like, oh, the witches were the healers. But then there are some who are bad, which I thought was like one of the nicest things anybody said about witches in the 80s. And then when he's looking through the book, it does say men can also be witches.
Yeah.
And again, as Heather said, that's something that you really didn't see a whole lot in the 80s. And as a dude, but not a dude bro, just a bro witch, I was really happy to see that because it gave me a sense of belonging.
Yay. You do belong, Jason.
My favorite.
Sometimes, depending on what
They
movie.
also said, oh, sorry. They also said at one point, which is very confusing, which is totally not from the 80s. It really doesn't hit until the 90s. And then later he says, they're not witches, they're Satanists. And at this point, there was conflation of the two. So for them to put, I'm not sure why that line is in there. Because nothing else in the magic, nothing what they're doing outside of a few of the things that Jason mentions, everything is just made up. Everything is very stereotypical, satanic, witchy, just fantasy stuff. The symbols are kind of quasi glyphs from astrology, sort of. I mean, nothing, even they do have a pentagram, upside down pentagram, the symbols and nothing. Everything is very Hollywood made up stuff based on there's nothing really real. But then you have that mention that Jason, and then they say they weren't witches, they're Satanists. Now, of course, that's not great either, if we're talking about modern practice. But the fact that they made that difference, I thought was an interesting line. Don't know why. I'd have to talk to Janet Greek.
My favorite magic spell in the entire film was when they get in the circle and all of the witches are standing in the window, and then they start doing this.
They break the glass.
That was good.
Wasn't that fabulous? And then, of course, they wake up in the circle as if they could actually sleep. And when they wake up, all of their books are stacked up, and the chairs are stacked up, and the refrigerator is moved to the door, and like they fell asleep, and the witches just came in and rearranged their furniture.
They're very kind.
It turned into like Poltergeist. It turned into a haunted movie. That's what ghosts do. It's a whole different thing.
Go ahead, Heather.
Okay, just real quick. The scene with the glass was one that Janet that was her scene that they didn't cut or change. And they talk about it in the book of how they did that. So it's really cool. Anyway, it's interesting.
No, the whole circle I felt like the only time the magic made any sense or was familiar to me, because for the most part, like they had force powers, right? Like there's a witch and they use their powers of their mind to shatter the glass of a car. They lift the car in the air and then drop the car to the ground, and you see the tires explode and stuff. And then the most magical thing that happens in the entire movie, like 2 scenes later, you see the car completely repaired with no issues whatsoever, which I found extraordinary myself.
You can't do that, Jason?
No, I've tried. Tried.
Keep trying.
Thanks. I'll get there.
Maybe it's something that bro witches can't do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I thought that was like really funny, and also sort of might have come from the sloppy editing of the film, right? Because it doesn't make any sense how fast the car is fixed.
So who made that decision? If Janet was the director, the network, the network took over and told the editors what to do?
Yeah, they took her edit And then they went ahead and looked at it, and then they spliced and diced. They did the same thing to her original film. That's one of her beefs with the industry, and how this happened specifically a lot to women film. It's like they wanted women, she says they wanted women to act as directors, but they didn't really want their product. They just wanted them there to do the filming, and then they were going to edit it. The bros of the industry were going to edit it according to how, like in the original film, her first film, she specifically said she didn't, when there was rape scenes, she did not want nudity. She wanted it to be subtle, suggestive, but no nudity. They added in all kinds of stuff, nudity and whatever, and totally ruined what she was trying to do with it. So that's what she talks about in the book. It's interesting.
I thought with the car, Jason, that it was in his mind. It was the same way that, like, when he wakes up the first morning after they smash, and he goes into the other room, and then the guy with the hair.
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be in his mind. That's how I read it.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't edited well enough for me to pick up on that, you know?
Yeah.
But I did, that might have been the only scary part in the whole movie for me, when he has the dream about the guy jumping out of his pantry and trying to murder him with his hair not looking as good as it could.
Right. That was a jump scare. So that's good.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a jump scare.
Yeah. Do we have quotes on this, Courtney?
Well, so I only have two.
Okay.
One I already said, which is how I knew that I was rooting for the man with the hair. He was like, very seriously, no one ever leaves us. And then the other guy's face lit on fire, which is just like any words that could make a man's face light on fire are words worth writing down and repeating. So I will keep that in mind. And the only other quote I wrote down, I had to stop and write this because just what a benchmark, what a temperature check. When I don't even know anyone's name, but the guy that was sucking face with her all day was like at work, and I don't know if she was the secretary or something like that, and she's trying to tell him like that something was wrong with his girlfriend, and she said very seriously, she was like, she took the turkey out of the oven with her bare hands and didn't get burned. Yes. This woman is trouble.
Yeah. So
from now on, if I want to be intimidating, I'm just going to hold the turkey and hope that does the trick.
Yeah, none of us talked about her, the secretary.
She was on to things. Like, she knew.
Yeah.
She knew.
Yeah, and then she's murdered at the end. Like, I thought that was the funeral for Tim Daly's character. And then they pull the rug out from under you. So, you know, yay for a small surprise that doesn't matter in the end, at the end of the film, because she knew who the bad guys were, or at least had an inkling about it.
She knew.
Well, that's what the mafia does. You know, you're on to them. You talk a little too much. You point a little too many fingers, you know, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah,
you're out.
Thank you. All right. Now, Jason, do we have a Mankey movie moment on? Oh, the lights just went on. This is good.
This is one of my favorite ones I've ever written, and many of you, and you guys might not like it. I don't know, but I love this. So I want to take you back to the mid 1980s. Calling me a young man then would have been a stretch. Instead, I think it's safe to say I was just a horny adolescent. And every year at 4-H camp, I tended to fall madly in love with a camp counselor. Those counselors were always 5 to 6 years older than me, perhaps even recent high school graduates getting ready for college. Not quite Mrs. Robinson, you know, but definitely Miss Robinson. Oh, dreams. And all of those young ladies during that period of time had big hair. To this day, anyone who has to use a gigantic bottle of Aquanet to keep their hair in place is like Jason Kryptonite. Back when I wasn't worried about the ozone, I was only worried about that big, beautiful hair. Seeing Kelly Preston in Spellbinder, all I could think about was Miss Shannon from 4-H camp and dancing with her to Mike Reno and Ann Wilson's Almost Paradise from the Footloose soundtrack. Was I able to look Shannon in the eyes while we danced? Absolutely not. but I was eye level with something else. Such good times. Good times. Seeing Kelly Preston in Spellbinder reminded me a lot of Miss Shannon. There was the long, beautiful, big hair, of course, but also the countless unanswered questions about Preston's Miranda Reed. In Spellbinder, Reed just exists. We never see her apartment or figure out where she gets money or clothes from or anything else. Does she even own a toothbrush? It's never answered. And Miss Shannon was like that. I didn't know what city she lived in or what school she went to or why her Guess jeans fit so incredibly well. All I know is that she never explicitly said, Jason, you have no chance with me. I'm dating Jeff down at the archery range.
Oh my God.
So you're telling me I have a chance? But perhaps Preston's Miranda Reed was an even stronger dose of kryptonite. There was the black dress she wears at the start of the movie, the perfect kind of dress for wearing to the Bon Jovi Cinderella concert, the place you know that you'll be the most beautiful enigma at. And Miranda didn't wait to fool around. Within 2 hours, there were boobs. Oh, boobs, how I love you. And then, just the next evening, there it was. True manhood. Miss Shannon, that could have been us. Even back during the 4-H camp days, I was interested in the occult. If Miss Shannon had introduced me to Wicca at camp, I might have reached the absolute pinnacle of infatuation. But I can relive those dreams by watching Miranda from Spellbinder forego the use of hot mitts to pull a turkey out of the oven. Big hair, sexiness, black dresses, occult leanings, and she's an amazing cook. These are the things dreams are made of. Did the movie end sadly out on that beach in a clear ripoff of The Wicker Man? Yes, sort of. But if Miss Shannon had told me to be there, I would have. If she had climbed down on top of me while I was handcuffed to the ground, her beautiful hair rising high above me, her eyeshadow glittering in the torchlight, and a sheer diaphanous gown leaving nothing to my imagination, I would have happily sighed and said the word boobies. And then I would have offered her my heart, both figuratively and literally, while Peter Cetera's Glory of Love was chanted by her coven in the background.
Beautiful.
Poetry.
Well
Yes.
done, Jason. Well done.
Such memories. Memories.
Yeah.
Memories of slow dancing poorly at 4-H camp. Sorry.
Thank you for that.
I remember the 80s and Peter
You remember how
Cetera
you danced back then too? Like this?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Just like this.
Yeah.
That's it. Just like
Please don't really touch me. Let us dance and I will touch your shoulders.
And Peter Cetera's Glory of Love. That's the song,
Almost
man.
Paradise though. Come on.
I love that song.
Glory
I
of
still
Love.
don't
Yeah.
know it's Paradise.
Almost
Right.
Paradise.
All right, it is time, ladies and gentlemen. Wands out, wands up. I'm using my knife versus my wand.
In case anybody was wondering, this is my antique urethra dilator, which I don't know if you can tell the thickness of it. I picked a good one.
Thank you. Up, 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 and way down, but not completely down.
Oh, it's down. It's completely down.
Oh, yours
They
is.
give the
Oh my
they-
God! I thought it was like it's the Wicker Man wand. It was upside. Okay, so we have a completely down and almost down, and 3 ups by the girls. Isn't that interesting?
You know what? I'm up for the Witch Mafia and the Witch Mafia alone, because we don't cross the Witch Mafia or else.
All right, let's look at
Up.
everybody up for the hair. We got wands up, wands up. I think I could give it a 1. Scroll over there. You guys vote. We need to know. We need to. It's interesting. We don't always do it like gender, boys versus girls, but this time we are a little bit. I wonder what that's about.
Well, everyone in the chat should be very careful about how they vote unless they want to wake up with a hot turkey head in their bed, you know?
But you will not use a hot pad to pick
which someone will put there with bare hands. So
don't worry, I will protect you all, wands down and wands halfway up, Coven members. Be honest. Courtney didn't even see the whole movie yet.
I didn't need to, Jason.
It gets better as it goes.
It does get better as it goes.
Gets
worse. And Mrs. Roper I like Mrs. Roper's character. I like
Mrs. Roper.
Yes.
I was also
she's a little menacing.
The torching of that car. I had one like it, so I was a little. That made me very sad.
It's a nice car.
I know. This one is older than mine. I had a 1980 MGB, but that made me sad to see it on fire. That was my point.
I love how our stock photo of the Wicker Man is the wrong Wicker Man, and it's the bees.
Oh, I think that Wicker Man was a choice that someone made, and I appreciate it.
Okay, Lady So has not seen it yet, but we have way more. We have ups, we have some neutrals, and some half ups. I haven't seen a complete one down yet, except for Jason.
Yeah, it's fine.
So what do we? And I love hair.
What are we doing next week?
I was here in the 80s. I do not remember my hair quite that big, but I'm going to work on it.
Mine was. Mine wasn't big. Mine wasn't big. I didn't do the Aquanet thing, but it was real curly and long.
Yeah.
My hair was big.
All the girls looked like
I wasn't a girl, but I had that thing. I had that thing.
My stepmother prevented me from having that thing. Oh, awful.
No.
Awful. But I listened to all those bands.
The bands, the hair bands.
Yeah, and they're on the Sunset Strip. You can while you're watching the film, you can see some of the bands, like some of the places where those bands played, like the Roxy. They go right by the Roxy.
On the Strip. Yeah, this was a LA movie all the way, right by Rob, our producer's house. This was an LA movie. My house, my house is practically in it. I have not seen that bunker yet under the Hollywood sign, but it's probably there. It probably is. Do we know what we're watching next week yet?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. Oz the Great and Powerful. It is from, I think, 2013 or 14.
Okay, Oz the Great and
Who's
Powerful.
in that one?
James Franco.
I thought as much.
We're not going to talk about him ever again, though.
After next week. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Witch Mafia T-shirt. Anyway, you got Pompey the Elvis Crawl. So you guys, thank you guys for coming. Anybody have anything coming up they want to tell everybody where they can see you or hear you or watch you or listen to you or point at you?
I have 2 weeks. I am going to be at Spirit Northwest. It's one of the newer pagan hotel conferences with lots of my wonderful witchy friends and authors. So that is Spirit Northwest is, I believe, the 23rd to the 26th in Portland, Oregon.
No, oh my God, I'm going your way and you're coming my way, sort of. That same weekend, I'm going to be at AltarCon, the Great American Cryptid Expo. I'm in Atlantic City. What? You get ghosts, you get witches, you get cryptids, you get aliens. We're going to have it all.
Sasquatch is real.
Yeah.
When is that and where is that?
It is Atlantic City, New Jersey. AltarCon, look up Black Ink Events or my website. I have everything. Oh, I would love to see you, Courtney. I think it's going to be really good, actually. I think it's going to be really good.
I'm looking it up. We'll see. I'm not that far from New Jersey, so we'll see.
Oh, yay. Anybody else? Jason?
Florida Pagan Gathering over Beltane weekend. That is obviously in Florida. No surprise. Florida Pagan Gathering is in Florida.
And over May
over Beltane, the first weekend of May.
And then that same weekend, I will be in Las Vegas with the vampires doing the Vegas Vampire Ball. Again, switching back and forth. We are back. And doing a seance and partying for Beltane, which works.
And I'll see Richard-Lael this weekend. Woo!
Woo!
I'm so jealous.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to see Heather and hang with Heather. And yay. All right, you guys, tell your friends, like us, follow us. It's really important. Like the Witches Movie Coven, each of us individually on social media. Go to Mystery Control. Get yourself a Black Phillip, because how do you sleep at night if you don't have a Black Phillip? Really, you can't. You don't want to. Especially if a scary Satanist show up. You got to have Black Phillip.
Or someone holding a turkey in their bare hands.
This will be good. Yeah. All right, you guys, we have one more thing to do. We are late. It is time to go. 1, 2, 3. With hands.